It's not. Okay, so my OBS is just lying to me then. Okay, because I just updated everything. That's so weird. That's so dumb. Okay. Well, you know, whatever. This is so stupid. It's fine for you? Okay, cool. Just making sure because the quality's yeah. It just slides in. It does. Yeah. Hi, Ivan. All right. Welcome. Hello. We're going to talk about the Game Award nominees. And if you're wondering why I'm sounding so ASMR-y, it's because Maple is in my lap and I don't want to get yelled at by her because if you yell too loudly or if you talk too loudly or if you sneeze, she'll at you and complain and then leave. And we want her to stay here. So fucking Brett. Oh my God. Okay. So is there a way for me to like full screen this? I could do that. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Oh, F11, you're right. Thank you. Okay, I think that's fine. All right. Let me just do this. Okay. All right. I don't like doing full screen because sometimes I feel like something's gonna go wrong. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. So game of the year. So I'm not voting because I feel like I haven't played enough of these games in order to have an opinion. I didn't play Kingdom Come. I didn't play Hollow Knight. I didn't play Hades 2. I didn't play Donkey Kong. I didn't play Death Stranding. I only played Clair Obscur, right? So I'm like, okay, I clearly have no business voting in this, which that's fine. So yeah, totally fine for me. I do think that Clair Obscur is going to take a lot of it, or Death Stranding. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how it's going to go. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 actually was really good. I know people really loved it. Silk Song was also very good. Hades 2, I mean, it's Hades, right? It's a Hades game. Donkey Kong Bonanza being there is so interesting to me. From what I understand, like it's fine, but it's very much like fetch quest games, you know? It's so weird. It's so interesting. Death Stranding, of course, because it's Kojima's game, it's going to do well. And Clair Obscur, indie game that has just blown up absolutely because it's the first real Western RPG like that reminds you of Persona, but it's Western, which is very cool. So I could see this getting a lot. I feel like this could take Game of the Year, honestly. I'm a little bit upset. I feel like Donkey Kong Bonanza could have been replaced by The Outer Worlds 2. But that's just for me personally. That's fine. Also, no Ghost of Yote being in the Game of the Year is so interesting after like I've seen so many positive things about it. Hi, Eternal. Hi, Ant-Man. All right. So I do think that Clair Obscur is probably going to take Game of the Year, honestly. Yeah, my top contenders would be Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Unfortunately, I feel like Death Stranding 2 came out a little bit early, so a lot of people will have forgotten it about in the player's choice anyways. So, okay, let's look at I hate that there's here, next. The website has been really laggy all day, but apparently it's not right now. So that's good. Okay, best game direction. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. Okay, so this is for creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Honestly, all of these could go. Split Fiction not being nominated for Game of the Year is also interesting. Because I know that this did really well, short and sweet, had a lot of really cool elements that Hazelight expanded on from their first game, first platformer like co-op game, which was It Takes Two, which was great. But It Takes Two felt like very much a tech test of showing like, here's what we can do, blah, blah, you know? So it feels really cool. I think that has a strong contender, right? Like that is a strong contender. Jeez, oh my God, thank you for the raid. I appreciate you. Oh my God, you're playing Mario Kart 8? Hell yeah. I hope you were beating ass in it. Okay. Hades 2, I mean, narrative has always been so great, but this is not for narrative, is the thing. So it's game direction and design. For design, absolutely. Game direction, I think it could. Um, the only thing is, it's up against such strong contenders, but I am happy to see indie games in the running, you know? Ghost of Yotei makes sense. Gorgeous. There's so much in it. Design's incredible. Same with Death Stranding and Clair Obscur. Like all of this, I feel like makes sense. Now, best game direction. This one's really hard. I genuinely don't know who would take it. Here's the thing with these first two categories, they're very good. Except for like I know you're saying Donkey Kong is really good too, but to be put up for game of the year. Do you think Donkey Kong Bonanza was game of the year? Yeah, all of these feel like fair grounds for best game direction. I think Clair Obscur. I could see Death Stranding taking this one, but the thing is, I think it's up between like these four. Clair Obscur could take it, but I don't know. These four, I think, are very, very strong. Maybe we'll come back. You felt Split Fiction was a first hit or first miss for Hazelight. Felt too generic. Interesting. I heard the opposite. I heard it like expanded upon what they had. Interesting. Okay. Oh, Juan, you're going with ukulele. Ukulele. Forgot about that. You also didn't play many of these, but voted for Expedition 33. Okay, we'll see. I know there's no Doom Dark Ages, I don't think, right? We didn't see any of that. And no Digimon mentions, of course. Impulse, Pokemon Legends Z should be Game of the Year contender. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, best narrative. This one feels like it will be Clair Obscur. This feels it will be Clair Obscur. Best narrative, Death Stranding. I think it's going to be. Yes, I know that they expanded on the story and actually looks really good, but the thing is, compared to these, they have better storylines that people can follow a little bit easier. Ghost of Yotei, I don't think is strong enough to take best narrative. I think it's a fantastic game. Again, I have not played it, but I have seen people play it. I don't think this is strong enough to go up against Clair Obscur. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, again, it's kind of a niche game. Like a lot of people played it, but it has a hard barrier to entry. And I think the narrative is easy to follow if you understand how the game plays and you can kind of keep going, right? Some people get stuck. Silent Hill F, I feel like could actually be a top contender for this as well. But I did think that people weren't super keen on the story. Like they liked it, but I don't think it was something. I think if I remember correctly, people were saying it didn't feel like a Silent Hill game. Which, if it's on, you can count it as whatever else. So, but I do think that Clair Obscur will take best narrative. I would be very surprised if Yotei took it. But yeah, I think it might be Clair Obscur. Yeah, see, exactly, Somar. Silent Hill F nominated for Best Story. Exactly. See, your reaction is kind of how the general public reaction has been. I'm so glad the website is actually working. Okay, Best Art Design. Art Director. Art Direction. I can fucking talk. Best Art Direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Y'all tired of seeing the same games over and over again already? Because I am. What the fuck is this collection? This feels weird, right? Am I tripping? It feels kind of strange. Okay. Clair Obscur obviously has gorgeous art. Death Stranding has been known for its visuals. Ghost of Yotei, I know they improved upon Tsushima and it looks gorgeous. There's so much more to the photo mode and all that. So I know that it has its strengths. But Hades 2 is also known for its art. Same with Silksong. And it makes me really happy to see only one AAA game, really, because the others are, well, actually, no, these two, sorry, my bad. I was thinking of two AAA games. It's very cool to see that indies can hold their own. opposite art direction. I genuinely feel like it might be between Hades and Death Stranding. Clair Obscur is good, but the thing is, a lot of the assets, if you look, they're very similar to other assets you can see in Unreal Engine 5's library, because it is an Unreal Engine game, right? It is. And there's a lot of free assets that people can use and reuse and make different. Now, I will say that they made it very individualistic, and they made it very unique to their game. But I do feel like Hades 2 and Death Stranding might be a bit stronger, in my opinion. Where do you vote? You go to the Game Awards website, and then you vote there. I'm not voting because I haven't played enough of these to feel like I'm qualified for it. So I'm stepping back on that. Okay, best score in music. Dude, it's just the same game. What? Okay. So best score in music goes Hollow Knight, Hades 2, Clair Obscur, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be, I mean, not unfortunately, but you know what I mean? Like, I think there's going to be a pretty big sweep here. I do think it's going to be Clair Obscur. Because it is iconic, and it has been played everywhere. A lot of people have put this into their rotations. However, I do want to point out they're sponsored by Spotify, which actually I want to take a quick look at. So Spotify, right? Let's take a look at, do they have any of these? Hollow Knight Silk Song. Do they have the OST here? Okay, they do. Do they have Hades 2? Hades 2. Okay, maybe I have to type in 2. Okay, they have the OSTs. Okay. How about Clair Obscur? Okay, they do have it as well. Ghost of Yotei. I guarantee you for this one, he's going to say something about you can listen to all of these on Spotify right now. Oh, there isn't. There it is. Okay. So, yeah, that's fine and all. But this being sponsored, I mean, I get it. Like, sponsors aren't awful, right? It's fine. That's how you're going to make your money with award shows. But it is very interesting that it is sponsored by Spotify for best score in music, for outstanding music, inclusion of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. What I think is really funny, though, is that I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Spotify has been pushing more of their like own AI artists and stuff. So it's very funny to see them here for best score, for best original song. And it's very ironic there. I do think that Expedition 33 will take this. Nothing else has been as iconic, honestly, because with all of these other games, I think the only one that I've been able to see on like normal TikToks has been Clair Obscur. And that has just like branched out so far, you know? Yeah, so I do think it's going to be Clair Obscur. Mellow, there's a ton of there are a ton of haters. They're trying to put Arc Raiders over Expedition 33. I mean, that's for the people's vote. So that's, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's fine. That people's vote is literally like who has the most fans or bot accounts that wants to try and control the vote. Okay. Best audio design. Hi, Roxas. Yeah, Errol, I think they do actually. Aw, thanks, John. You're so sweet. Okay, best audio design. This is very different from soundtrack, right? Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Battlefield? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is so weird because it seems like they put this in here because they needed something else. Battlefield does not, I don't think it should be up here. Best? No. I think that the War Tapes mode is really fucking cool, but the thing is the directional audio has not been great in this game. And if we're talking about best, right? Game of the year stuff, best. I don't think this would be up here for me. Above it, I might put Doom the Dark Ages because there was a lot more tools that you could put in there. And the slow-mos between perfect parries and all that, like the sound design in there, I feel like was better than Battlefield. So not seeing that there is kind of interesting. Clair Obscur, of course. I think Clair Obscur, it has really good audio design with the perfect parries, perfect dodges, all of that stuff. I do think that they do have a leg up in this. It sounds amazing. Death Stranding, I've watched people play this. I know that it does have a really good sound design, but I haven't played it, so I can't speak on it. Ghost of Yotei, if it's anything like Ghost of Tsushima, it has gorgeous sounds. It has really good, like even the little leaves and grass in the wind, you can hear the little bit of like, you can hear the rustling. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of thought that goes into the sound design of this. I'm not saying it doesn't go into all of these, right? But I feel like it does kind of stand out to me. Silent Hill F, honestly, I think that audio design wise, this was kind of weaker from all the other Silent Hills. I feel like out of the Silent Hills, they didn't play into that horror as much, like auditory wise. I do think that one was a weaker part of them. So I feel like it could be Ghost of Yotei and Clair Obscur, one of those two. Again, Battlefield 6, I don't think it belongs up there. I don't think it belongs there. Because we're talking about the best of the best. We're talking about Battlefield 6 is better than Clair Obscur. We're talking about Battlefield 6 is better than Ghost of Yotei in terms of audio design. I do not think so. I think that Battlefield 6 really suffers from not balancing things. And again, directional audio is bad. It is bad, which it's fine because here's the thing. In FPS games, directional audio is really fucking hard, especially audio where it's like layered on top of each other, like vertical. Apex has this problem. Call of Duty has this problem. Battlefield has this problem. There's just so many issues with their audio design and with their audio, in-game audio. I don't think it belongs up here. It does not belong up here. We're talking near perfect. We're talking 9 out of 10s.
I have been waiting to use this Prime lol.
Thank you, Zardos. Yeah, the Bezos books. Thank you so much. Battlefield 6 sounds weren't on par with previous ones, but it's still right. You have to delete Spotify. Yeah, exactly. That I know, Oreos. Shut the fuck up, G. Like, here's the thing. It's fine. There was nothing other aside from the War Tapes mode. I don't think it did anything better than Battlefield 2042. So, Luminous Arise. Yeah. Okay, so for this, sorry, I'm going off tangent. I do think it's Clair Obscur or Ghost of Yotei. Is it slowing down? Next. Oh my god, I think it's actually. What? Imagine I got banned from their site. Wait, what? Unable to. Oh. Did the site just break? Oh my god. News. Is there... They didn't even release like a press release with their stuff? That's weird. Okay. Nominees. Oh my god. All right. Okay, let's do this. Game Awards nominees, huh? Can I do it from here? View all category. What? Whatever. You know what? Whatever. Here's the thing. Is it actually going to let me in? Oh, I don't think so. Okay, I think it's actually broken. I can't click on anything. Okay. Let's look at... Someone else must have written it, right? Wait. Polygon? Okay, here we go. Finally. We'll just look at polygons. So we just did art direction, audio design. Okay, game direction, right? That's the next one? Wait, they have their thing all fucked up. Oh my god, they have it all out of order. This is really annoying. They have this all out of order. Okay. They have these all out of order as well. Oh, fuck. Okay. You know what? We're just going to go over it again. Okay? We're just going to do it. Okay. GameSpot actually might have it in the right order. Game of the year, okay, best game direction, best adaptation. It's not in order, but it's fine. Whatever. Okay. So we did that. Best game direction, Claire Obscure. No, we already did this one. We already did best game direction. It's best adaptation, a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, The Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, or Until Dawn. You know, in terms of like video game movies and other forms of entertainment, it's kind of been a drought. Yeah, I don't know where. Wait, was there a season of Fallout this year? And did a Sonic movie come out this year? I don't think it did, right? I don't think it did. Are shows on the second season ineligible for being nominated for best adaptation? No, they should be. They should be because they're still ongoing. So there was no Fallout season this year, which explains why there's no best adaptation. Twisted Metal, however, is interesting that there wasn't a nomination for that. That could have easily replaced a Minecraft movie, I think, or Devil May Cry. But I don't think enough people watch Twisted Metal is the thing. Minecraft movie, people watched it because it's a movie for the kids. They brought a bunch of... Here's the thing. It extends to the casual audience, you know? And also it has Jack Black, all the famous actors in it. So it makes sense that this would be at the top. It was accessible to a lot of people. Devil May Cry, I think that was wasn't that a series? And it was animated as well, it was on one specific platform, which is very interesting. Same with Last of Us Season 2, that was on HBO, specific. Splinter Cell, I think this was on Netflix as well. It like came out recently. Until Dawn was a movie and it sucked. It was nothing. Like, why is this here? Twisted Metal could have replaced Until Dawn because none of this was Until Dawn related. If you guys saw it, like, you know that it has nothing to do with the original game. So unfortunately, I think a Minecraft movie is going to win. Last of Us Season 2, I know a lot of people were very unhappy about that. However, I could see them making an argument about how Season 2 does go into depth with the characters a little bit more than the games did. So I could see an argument for that. Can I go back to the other website? I wish. It's fucking broken. I can't do it. Like, unless it's fixed now, but like, that's the problem. Okay. We got one to load. Now, unfortunately, it seems like we're stuck here. Okay. Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. Oh. We just can't use the site. That fucking sucks. So, unfortunately, because they don't have a fucking page that just has the lists all in one thing, we do have to look at it this way. Maybe Polygon has it a little bit better. This is a little bit better. Okay, I'll just zoom in. The one that I opened after. I think it's this one, right? Okay. Zardos, I did that. It doesn't fucking work. It literally just 404'd on me. Okay. Okay, we did that. Best art direction, we did that. Audio design, best game direction, best multiplayer. Okay. Best multiplayer. Arc Raiders. Battlefield 6. Elden Ring Night Rain. Peak. Split Fiction. Oh, I hate this. I hate when they mix co-op and multiplayer. I really don't like when they do that. They are entirely different. They're different games. Best multiplayer. They should have a separate category for co-op. I do think, because here's the thing, with co-op, Split Fiction, you can't play with people online, right? Like, I mean, you can, but it's not like you get into a queue to load up with people like in Arc Raiders, like in Battlefield, like in Elden Ring Night Rain. Peak, I forget if you can actually do that with specific servers, but even Peak, I would say, is co-op, not multiplayer. I would say these two belong in their own category. So this is really weird. I don't like this. So Split Fiction and Peak, I don't know if they're going to win this. They may have put Split Fiction in here to try to give it a chance to win something. I don't know. Best multiplayer. I know that Elden Ring Night Rain was actually really good. People loved this. Battlefield 6, It's fine. It's fine. Arc Raiders, I know people are losing their shit over it. It based on popularity, it may win, but I do think that like Elden Ring Night Rain should win here because I think the fact that that they were able to make a game that is online multiplayer. It is an online multiplayer experience, in a Souls game. To this point where it's essentially a roguelike, right? That's what you do when you enter the game in Night Rain. I think that is very impressive. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually know if it would count as multiplayer game. I think it would maybe count as because you don't. To me, best multiplayer is when you play against other people. I think that is how that category should be built, right? Because these are not the same. These are not the same kinds of games. So I don't know. It's interesting. I do think Arc Raiders will probably take this. If not, probably Battlefield. I personally would love Night Rain to take it. Okay, best narrative, we did that. Best performance. Okay, best performance. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Jennifer English, Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Ghost of Yote, Erika Ishii, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Oh, because they didn't get to it last year. Silent Hill F, Konatsu Kato. I know her voice performance was incredible. However, I think Jennifer English is going to take this. I would be happy if Ben Starr took it. But I do think that Jennifer English is going to take this. Her character went through so many different things, and I feel like she was able to convey it really well. Charlie, though, I mean, yeah, he's there. Like, no spoilers, but like he's not there that long. His performance is fine. I think it's fine. Jennifer English, however, again, like I said, she has more range with her character and what she has to do and convey with her voice. So I feel like Jennifer could take it. However, I do think it's between Silent Hill. I think it's between Konatsu and Jennifer. It's between those two. I do think maybe Jennifer will take this because Claire Obscure is the longer game experience. And there is so much more that she has to do in order to... her performance is so much longer. Her performance is so much longer than what Konatsu had to do. So I do think that Jennifer is going to take this based off the performance, right? Performance and how much effort was put into that. Because, like, I think that won't get... I mean, that has to be considered. Okay. Best score in music, we did this. Best action. Battlefield 6, why the fuck is that in there? Is it because of is that the campaign? Why the fuck is this in here? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Who make the nominations? I want to know. Who make the nominations? Okay, let's see. Hosted by... Okay. Let's see. Where is it? I've got to look. There's not a single... They select over 100 video game press organizations eligible for nomination and vote on games in the show's category. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, here. The Game Awards has a committee composed of representatives of companies such as Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. They select over 100 video game press organizations eligible for nomination and vote on the games in the show's categories. Keeley and the committee itself do not participate in voting. Games released before a specific date in November are eligible for nomination. Games released after that date are eligible for the next years. Most winners are determined by a mixed vote from 90% of the voting jury and 10% of fan votes. How the fuck does that work? Okay. So does that mean that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, like the representatives from these companies, they're the ones who make the lists of the games? I never quite understood that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Game Awards has an advisory committee, which includes representatives from hardware manufacturers, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and AMD, along with several game publishers. The committee selects game news organizations that are able to nominate and subsequently vote on the video games in several categories. Okay, so they select outlets to do that. The advisory committee otherwise does not participate in the nomination or voting process. During the nomination round, each of the news outlets provides a list of games in several categories. The committee compiles nominations and selects the most nominated games for voting by these same outlets. Prior to 2017, there were 28 industry experts and representatives that selected the winners, while the awards from 2017 onwards have used over 50 such experts. So you're telling me enough outlets on that list said Battlefield 6 is best fucking action. And that for best multiplayer, people included these in the same. Oh my God. Okay. That's weird. Well, it's not going to be Battlefield. Oh my God. These are fucking weird. I think Hades is going to take it. Hades is most likely going to take this. Doom was good, and I would love for this to win, but I think Hades 2 is going to take this. All right, best action adventure game. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Split Fiction. Action adventure, I think. Honestly, for this one, it might be Split Fiction. I feel like it can be Split Fiction. For best action adventure game, I feel like it might be Split Fiction, honestly. Yeah. Best family game. See, this is where I feel like Donkey Kong belongs. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Yes, it made it. Split Fiction. Interesting. I think Lego Party is the best family game. Okay, so again, we're talking about best overall, right? Sonic, okay, here's the thing. Mario Kart World, you need a Switch too in order to play it. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, you can play it anywhere. You can play it across platforms. So that also is a strong contender to me. Split Fiction, only one person needs to own the game. I think that's a great family game, but family game to me screams like more than 3 people are going to be playing at once on your couch. So I feel like, counting Split Fiction out, it's going to be these. I'm actually not familiar what Lego Voyagers is, but I do think it could be Lego Party, because here's the thing. It's across all platforms. And if I remember correctly, hold on. Okay, here's the thing. I think, if I remember correctly, I thought that only one person needed the game. Oh, okay, it's if you're on Steam for Steam Remote. Okay, never mind. But I do feel like having a game that can expand across all platforms, that does give you a bigger leg up on the best family game, because not everyone has like a specific console, right? Lego Party can be played on PC. It can be played on Switch 2. It can be played on PlayStation, Xbox. I do think that kind of lends a hand to that. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think, is also a strong contender just because it's Nintendo. A lot of casual viewers and players already have a Nintendo. Like, they have a Switch, right? For me, my pick would be Lego Party. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be Donkey Kong. So. Best fighting game, I have no leg in this race. I'm going to leave that up for y'all. I don't play any. I'm so out of the loop on this genre. Whatever you guys say you think it should be, I'm good with it, because I don't play fighting games. I have no idea. Ivan, if you're in chat, love to hear your takes, you know. Jesus Christ, these ads. Oh my fucking God. Is Polygon gonna is gonna get yelled at me for, yep. Fuck. I can't even pause it. What the fuck? Okay. Mortal Kombat, 2XKO, Virtua Fire series. Oh, okay, interesting. You agree with Mortal Kombat. Really? Interesting. Legacy Collection. You know what? I agree. Legacy Collection itself, this specific one, yes, I 100% agree with that because it has all of the Mortal Kombats, even the fucking obscure cabinet ones that people don't remember. They have all of that in the game. That is not even like, it's not even just a fighting game. It has a whole documentary in it. So for me, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Absolutely. Okay, best indie game. Absalom, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Claire Obscure, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong. Oh, Jesus. I feel like Claire Obscure is a very, very strong contender. I would love Ball X Pit to win because it's one of those solo dev teams. However, I feel it will be Claire Obscure. I would like it to be Ball X Pit. But yeah. Best mobile game. Sonic Rumble, Wuthering Waves. Oh, this does not belong on here. Destiny Rising, I actually heard is really good. Oh my god, the fucking horse racing game is on here? What? I think Destiny Rising wins. I think Destiny Rising wins because a lot of people have stopped playing Destiny on consoles because apparently Destiny Rising, the mobile game, is so much better. Okay. Best ongoing game, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Marvel Rivals should have been in best multiplayer. Why was that not in fucking best multiplayer? What? That could have replaced any of these three. Multiplayer. They should have had that there. What? That makes no fucking sense to me. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I got lost. Okay, ongoing game. I feel like it's going to be Fortnite or Helldivers 2. Actually, it could be any of these three. It could be any of these three and people would be happy, I think. Helldivers 2 has done a fantastic job. As you know what? I will go with Helldivers 2 because it just recently expanded to Xbox this year. So I think maybe Helldivers 2. That's at least my pick. Fortnite, I feel like is kind of like a no-brainer, but also there's a big Final Fantasy 14 group as well. So yeah, I don't know. But I do think it's Helldivers. That's my vote. Best RPG, Avowed, Claire Obscure, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds is an RPG? The Outer Worlds 2. For me, unfortunately, it would be Claire Obscure. However, actually, Claire Obscure for best RPG. To me, an RPG is one where you can really customize your character. So I know Avowed was actually pretty good. And The Outer Worlds 2 is definitely an RPG because you role play. You role play the character that you're playing as. Claire Obscure, I could see. I mean, like, I get it. Technically, yes, it's an RPG. But to me, it doesn't have that same feel. But Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, that's so weird. Honestly, I could see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 actually taking that. Because you do still kind of role play the game as the main character who you have a very lived-in experience with. I do feel like that could work. I feel like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 may actually win Best RPG here. Okay, Best Sports/Racing Game. I really don't care. EA Sports FC. Unfortunately, I think that might win. F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, Sonic Racing Crossroads. I fucking love that game. I think it's so fun. However, I think it's going to be EA Sports FC. It could be any of these three. I don't have enough experience in best sports and racing games, so that's not for me. Also, this is why I don't vote, because for me, if I can't vote on like one specific category fully, then I don't feel like my vote counts. Okay. Best strategy/sim game. Civ 7. Final Fantasy Tactics, Jurassic World Evolution 3, The Altars, Tempest Rising, 2 Point Museum. I feel like none of these really made a splash. Yeah, Nick, I feel like Altars might win by default, but Civ is also really good. I know it took a while for it to get its footing, but people really like Civ 7 now. So it might be 7 or Altars, one of those two. Final Fantasy Tactics Remake was really excellent. Oh, but this is a remake though, right? I feel like a remake kind of counts it from not being, I don't know. It's interesting. It's a weird dilemma to have, right? Because technically it's not, I don't know, it's not this year, right? It came out previously. So it can't be a great remake, right? But I don't know. Things get very dicey when you start looking into like the specifics of things. Oh yeah, I heard people loved it. However, in terms of new, I feel like the Altars or Civ 7 might win. I know 2 Point has really good games too, which is interesting. Okay. But yeah, I used to play Civ 6, but then I stopped because it was a huge time sink and I couldn't do it anymore. Best VR/AR game, Alien Rogue Incursion. Did that not come out last year? Yo, what? Didn't that come out last year? Huh. Arcanage, Deadpool VR, Ghost Town, The Midnight Walk. I feel like Alien or Deadpool's gonna win, but I'm sorry, am I dumb? I'm pretty sure this came out last year, right? Yeah. That's why. December 19, 2024, because it was in December. Because it was December. Yeah. And the reason why I remembered this, because I was like, oh wait, why is this here? The DICE Awards, because the DICE Awards always wait until January or February, right? February is when they have the actual award show. They do the nominees the next year to allow for all these games to fully come out. So they count all the games in December as well. That's why I remember seeing this, because this had actually been nominated for Best VR on the DICE Awards as well. Okay. So I feel like Alien Rogue Incursion may win. Deadpool is fine. I think people really liked it, but I think they liked it more for the fact that you play as Deadpool. But Alien Rogue Incursion, from what I've heard, because I don't play a lot of VR games, apparently this is very, very good. Like, people really liked it, kind of to the point of Alien Isolation. Here, Midnight Walk was really good too. I wish I could do VR, man. But I have the glasses, and also it just makes me so nauseous, even if I have different controls. Let's see, Midnight Walk. Oh, I remember seeing this. Yeah, it's the little freaky guy. Huh. I mean, I would love for a game with that sort of art style to win. I think it's so freaky and I like it. It's unique. Okay. Oh, we already saw Best Adaptation. Let's see, Community Support. God, I wish the website was up so I could read the descriptions for the categories, because I never remember what qualifies a game for that. Community support: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, because this is essentially just ongoing, right? This is just an extension of best ongoing game. No Man's Sky, Helldivers 2. It might be one of these two. Actually, Baldur's Gate might actually as well, because like Baldur's Gate has had a ton of updates. I could not tell you all the updates that happened this year. Helldivers 2, you could also argue for that as well, because they just launched on Xbox this year. Wait, okay, so dude, Sonic 3 did come out this year then? Okay, it was last year, but it still counts. Dude, Sonic should absolutely have been on best adaptation. That's really strange. That could have replaced, honestly, that could have replaced any of the TV shows. Until Dawn, for sure, it could have replaced that. It could have been Sonic. That's really weird. None of these are not even close to best anything. No Man's Sky is really good, which is why I think No Man's Sky, like these two might have really strong says in this community. No Man's Sky has continuously been really, really good. Also, the community is really nice. So yeah, I don't know. No Man's Sky may take this one. But again, No Man's Sky, Helldivers 2, Baldur's Gate 3, I think are all very fair to be in the top running. I would not be mad if any of them made it. Debut indie game. Fucking do they have to, oh my god, dude. I feel like it's hard because when you do awards, it's really hard to be so precise in what qualifies a game to be in that category. I may be biased, but I do feel like DICE does a really good job of separating those categories and explaining why they have them in those categories specifically. Game Awards, I feel like their labeling is incredibly outdated, and I feel like they should adjust it. Debut indie game. Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Desfolete, I don't even know what that is. Dispatch, Megabonk. Why is Ball X Pit not here? Ball X Pit should be here, but it's in, what is it in? It's in Best Indie Game. I'm sorry. Where's what Best Indie Game versus Debut Indie Game? Best Debut Indie Game. Are they not the fucking same thing? Like, obviously if it's their first game then yeah, but okay, whatever. I feel like oh man, I don't know. Player vote, I feel like it could be tied between Dispatch and Megabonk. Clair Obscur, I feel like just because of the name, it could. But debut indie game, man. Yeah, as your first game that comes out, it may be Clair Obscur, which makes me kind of mad. Okay, dude. Yeah, that's fair. But it's just, at what point do All right, whatever. Anyways, I do feel like this will be Clair Obscur because it is very impressive. A close second could be Dispatch, then third is Megabonk. Games for Impact. Consume Me. I need to play that. Dispolite, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wonder. This is where South of Midnight is? South of Midnight should absolutely have been in audio design. Where is audio design? I forget what was in there. Bro, okay. It should have replaced fucking Battlefield. I'm sorry, South of Midnight should have replaced Battlefield. South of Midnight has incredible attention to detail, and the sound actually matters there. Unlike on Battlefield 6, where there's a bunch of fucking chaos. You don't actually listen to anything that happens. God, South of Midnight should absolutely have had an audio design or best OST, because it's so fucking good. I need to finish that game as well. But every piece of music you hear was so intentional in every level, even when you're idle, anytime you use your magic, it's so intentional. God, they definitely got snubbed. Okay. Games for Impact. I mean, for me, it's either South of Midnight or Consume Me. Consume Me, I feel like might do really well because Consume Me might do well in the dev space. However, in terms of player base, I'm not entirely sure. It might be South of Midnight. Yeah. Again, I've not played or heard of many of these, so I feel like I don't have a say in this. So, you thought Black Myth Wukong should have won last year? I don't think so. I don't think Black Myth Wukong was Game of the Year worthy. I know people like the game, and I think it's fine. It looks great. I think the mechanics are cool, but I don't think it's Game of the Year worthy. Astrobot takes so much more into consideration. When you look at how much attention there needs for Astrobot, because it is incredibly complex. And I'm not saying Black Myth Wukong isn't, but technically speaking, with all of the work that goes into it, it is so technically complex. And I think that trust me, I was like, wait, Astrobot? Really? Even when they won DICE. But after thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense. It is incredibly, incredibly difficult to make a game like that. Okay, Games for Impact. Best esports game. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. The fuck is that? You're asking outlets to nominate these? You're asking outlets to nominate these. Most outlets don't even focus on esports. Dude, when I was at IGN, no one cared about esports. Maybe sometimes League, which is obviously going to win here, best esports game. It's obviously going to win. Like League of Legends is obviously going to win. But like most people don't even know what esports really has. Like when I was at IGN, I was like the only person who really cared about competitive gaming, aside from Mitchell Saltzman, who plays fighting games like actually competitively. So this is so weird. Best esports athlete. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know any of them. It's weird that Faker's not on there, so it's already an obsolete list to me. It is. Nope. Best esports team. You know, I think it might be between Team Vitality or NRG or Gen G, honestly. I think it may go to Gen G just because of League and the impact it has. But I don't know. Content Creator of the Year. Wait. Can someone, if they get voted, can they not be put on again? So it's not like they can put Queso again? That's so weird. Buko, I platinumed Black Myth Wukong and agree it's not Game of the Year worthy. The invisible walls and terrible collision and hitboxes with an empty final chapter shows how unpolished the game was. Was fun though. Yeah, it looks like a fine game. And here's the thing, Mello, you say Astrobot was nice, but look at the numbers Black Myth Wukong did and the impact it had. You mean the impact it had negatively on developers and the women that worked there at the development company? Here's the thing, numbers don't often mean a lot of things, right? When you're talking about sales, yeah, that's great, of course. But the thing is, you have to consider the fact that the accessibility, right? Black Myth Wukong, casual players can't just play that. It is something that has a high ceiling with skills, right? Astrobot, however, you can kind of get the feel for the game, right? So now you open it up to kids. Now you open the reach out to parents, to families, casual players who know what a platformer is. Black Myth Wukong, not a lot of casual people are going to want to settle down and play a game like that requires so much attention. So if you really want to talk about impact, you really have to consider the casual aspect of it. Yes, Black Myth Wukong is cool because it did a lot of things really well. It told a lot of Chinese folklore really well as well. And it's gorgeous, right? And it probably plays fine mechanically. However, you have to look at the broader picture. We, all of us in chat and us, we are a very small subsection of gamers who take shit way too seriously because we've been playing games for so long, right? We are not casual. We are not the casual audience. So it's hard for us to imagine people who don't know what video games are, right? So Astrobot, especially with when it came with the PS5, right? I think that's what it came with, or was it the PS4? I don't remember. But when the first one came out, people could just play it, right? It was available. You could just run around in it. You don't have to do all the hardcore shit like collecting all the collectibles. You don't have to like 100% anything. It's just fun. You just run around in it, right? Yeah. So I feel like you got to look at the broader picture. And Astrobot has a very high skill ceiling that hardcore gamers can sink their teeth into. It's got some legitimately brilliant platforming and speedrun challenges. Exactly. There's so much more. Astrobot is whatever you want it to be in terms of experience. With Black Myth Wukong, you are given the experience that you are forced to have, right? Like, there's no real any way. Like, you can change up your playstyle, but it's not the same as approaching something differently, right? So it is very interesting. And again, I'm not saying Black Myth Wukong is a bad game. I think people hinge so much on other people liking the same games that they do. It's very interesting. And me saying Black Myth Wukong is not a Game of the Year game, to me, it's not an insult to you if you like it, right? However, as of that year, it was definitely not a Game of the Year contender, in my opinion. I do feel like Burnt Peanut is going to win this one, or Kai Cenat. Very interesting that these people, but whatever. Most anticipated game. I mean, are we really going to argue about G-Chat? I wonder what it's going to be. Damn. Harry, I actually took Astrobot incredibly seriously. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I could never speedrun anything on Astrobot. I'm fucking ass at platformers. Oh, yeah. And the winner of the most GTA 6 of all time. I am actually very curious to see how 007 First Light is going to be. I got to talk to their art director, and it seemed like they're approaching it really well. However, I haven't gotten to see any gameplay, so I don't know. We'll see. For me, I think I'm most interested in Wolverine and Witcher 4. I'm interested in Witcher. I mean Witcher. With GTA 6. However, it's not something that I fucking need. You know what I mean? Like, it's so interesting to people like, oh my God, I planned my vacation days around this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's crazy. Okay, if you want to talk about games that have actual reach, look at GTA. It expands, it breaks the fucking ceiling in terms of branching out from other categories, right? Like people in entertainment, in movies, normies fucking know what GTA is, right? Everyone knows what it is. It seemed like everyone knows what Marvel is, right? So GTA 6, if you want to talk about real impact, that is a game that has real impact, and it actually fucking sells so much. So this is going to be huge, and the next year is all going to hinge on GTA 6's release. Once that happens, everyone else can release their games after a certain amount of time. And it really tells you how big of an impact GTA has when everyone waits on holding off their fucking announcements and they move their fucking release date because of this one game. So, no, I know, me too, dude. Like, I refuse to watch any more trailers of GTA 6 because I am interested in it. I am interested in the game, but like, I'm not fiending to get it, you know? Yeah, GTA is a pop culture event, not even a gaming event. At this point, yeah, exactly. Thanks, BSMI. So, unfortunately, I do think it's going to be GTA 6. However, if you took that out, yeah, mine would be Wolverine or Witcher 4. And I guess that's it. But in order to get through all of these categories, it's going to take like 3 hours because of all the ads and stuff, dude. It's going to be so weird. I do think people are like, oh my God, well, you're watching it. Like, why are you shitting on it? It's like, I'm not shitting on it. I'm just trying to look at it from, it doesn't feel like a celebration of these games in the show. I feel like in the show, it's more of like a E3 sort of presentation, right? And like my friends were like, oh, are you going to go to Game Awards? I'm like, fuck no. I like being able to pee whenever I want. I like having to pee whenever I want. I don't want to fucking like be stuck in a theater with no water because they don't allow you to like bring water in. They don't allow you to leave to pee. Bro, I'm like, no, when I gotta piss, I gotta fucking piss. I want to be able to leave. So I'll do a watch party at home and then I'll go hang out at the JW in that area like everyone else does. Fuck that. Dude, I'm not sitting there for 3 hours. Hell no. If I did, dude, I would do the funniest shit. I would dress up in a sleeping bag, even though it gets hot as fuck in there, but I would dress up in a sleeping bag and like bring a pillow. Anyways, yeah, so it's very interesting. These being Game of the Year nominations are, I feel like I can agree with them all. There have been a lot of good games this year. There have been a lot of really good games this year. You go to Dice Awards for the actual celebration? Oh, no, absolutely. What do you mean you can't empty your bladder during the show? They don't let you out. Like, they don't let you in or out because they don't want it to be interrupted. Yeah, Dice Awards, I do appreciate them including all the games that come out that year because they wait like a month into the next year before they announce their nominees and stuff. So, and also the Dice Awards, again, I know I'm biased, so I feel like I can't really say much without you guys being like, oh, well, you're biased. But I do think it's so cool that it's literally judged by developers who make games so they know exactly what to look for. So if you want to look for actual nominees, I feel like the closest you can get to like a perfect list is probably Dice, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's like a 4-hour show. It's 3. It's 3. And it might be 4 this year. I have no idea how long it's going to be. Let's see. Let's see how long the Game Awards are. 3 to 4 hours. Oh. The 2024 event was 3 hours and 12 minutes long. Okay, can I actually are you gonna work? Nope. Okay, it's not. Okay, so let's see. Oh my god, I forgot about this Naughty Dog project, Intergalactic the Heretic Project, which insane name by the way. Like who you could have just done the Heretic Project or Intergalactic. This is like, oh, we liked all these words and we didn't know which one to leave out, so we just put them all in the title. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the fucking Muppets are probably gonna come back too. Is it the Heretic Prophet? Well, it's also fucking Polygon, so. Thursday, December 11th. Okay, what times did the Game Awards start? 8 p.m. Dude, this is why people complain about DICE Awards being late, but I'm like, the Game Awards are just as late. The fuck? Okay. Oh yeah, isn't it on Amazon Prime this year? Yeah, it'll be streamed on Prime Video. Ugh. I don't know. 11 p.m. EST. I know, but people complain about the DICE Awards being so late, and I'm like, I mean, so are the Game Awards. You like the Muppets? I like the Muppets too. I just wish they were brought up more organically. I know Jeff Keighley loves the Muppets, but I don't understand why they started showing, why they're there. I don't get it. What inspired it? You know what I mean? And then there was a segment. They wasted people's time by having the fucking Muppet chase around a Muppet chicken. And I get that it's for, levity and all that shit, but, bro, we're tired. People want to piss. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. A Muppets shooter? Wasn't there something like that? There was a story-based game that was based on Muppets, right? Last year's was the best one. Wait, yeah, last year they revealed the Muppet shooter, right? Hold on. Wait. Is it this? Is it out already? Oh my god. It was a Muppet boxing game. Overwhelmingly positive. I remember this shit. Oh my god. That's really funny. Huh. Should we play this, guys? People calling it Sesame Street meets Resident Evil are right. Sold. I'm fucking sold. Yo, I'm sold. Holy shit. Hell yeah. I'm doing it. That's actually so funny. So it's a horror game? Wait, no, this is not the boxing game. This is a horror game. Wait a minute. So which one's the... Hold on. Muppet boxing game. Felt that boxing. That's what it is. It has not come out yet. To be announced. This is the one they showed off. Oh, this was boxing game at SGF. This was at SGF? Oh god, I thought it was the Game Awards, dude. Honestly, the two are so similar. This is really fucking funny. Yeah, this game looks really cool, actually. I think it just does something unique, and I love that. It is definitely Unreal 5, though, right? Let me see. Does it show you what... Isn't it supposed to show you what engine it uses? Huh, maybe not. All right, whatever. Anyways, yeah. I think that's really cool. It looks funny. I would like to play that, but also I think we should play the other game, My Friendly Neighborhood. This looks like it could be really freaky, but also very funny. Yeah, I could be into that. Survival horror. Yeah, I guess so, which is interesting. I could be into this. It has the demo, but at that point, I mean, it's $30. That's fine. Support indie devs. Oh my god, this looks so silly. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Oh, I'm not complaining that it's in Unreal Engine 5. However, Unreal Engine 5, it is more taxing on your system and your graphics card because there's so much more that goes into it. So that's my only concern, because Unreal Engine 5 games need a lot of tuning to be properly balanced on your PCs, especially lower end. But also Unreal Engine 5, I think it looks great. Yeah, everything looks really cool, and the textures look great. But again, it takes up a lot of fucking computing power. So, yeah. So you got to be able to balance it right, and it's on the developer's end because some people might not have the same GPU. Dude, I have a 4090, and even then, sometimes Unreal Engine 5 like stutters for me. Like Outer Worlds 2. Wait, actually, Outer Worlds 2 is it on Unreal? I think it is. It is Unreal 5. Yeah. It is Unreal 5. Yeah, there's just a lot that goes on in the background, and you don't understand it. Yeah, Steam has so many hidden gems. It really does, but also Steam has a lot of upfront and not hidden gems that I wish were hidden and not quite gems. Very open and public trash. Like there was one foot. Like what was it? It was on everyone's front page for a while. It's like something femboy cafe, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I know my algorithm I've never even come close to anything like that. And apparently it showed up on a bunch of other people's recommended too, which was really funny. So some things like that that can remain hidden. It's a gem to someone. Oh, that's so funny. Anyways, that was fun. I really like looking at Game of the Year nominations and seeing the differences. I do wish we had a better idea of how exactly the nominations worked. After all these years, we still don't have a really set. We don't really know as a public how it really works, right? Like, and also that 10% is made up by people's votes. Interesting. If I remember correctly, let's look at let's see. Well, hold on. Let's see if this works. Okay. They list the okay. Hold on. It's working for how long? I don't know. Okay. So look, nominations for the Game Awards are selected by a voting jury of over 100 leading media and influencer outlets. Influent? Okay. In the US, Easy Allies, Entertainment Weekly, Esquire, Game Informer, Game Rant. Okay. Gamertag Radio. GamesBeat, GameSpot, Giant Bomb, IGN, Inverse. I don't know who this guy is. Kind of funny. MinMax. And NPR. Okay. PC Gamer, Polygon, Pride, Rolling Stone, The Atlantic, Variety, Wirecutter, and Wired. The UK, Dexerto, Edge, Eurogamer, Games Radar, Gaming Bible, Metro, PC Games, Pocket Gamer, Pocket Tactics, Tech Radar Gaming, The Mirror, The Times, VG 24/7, and VGC. And then global for Argentina, it's Cultura Geek, Infobay, Australia, Press Start, Screen Hub, Skill Up, Stevivore, and Belgium is just one. Canada uses CBC. Okay. Mobile Syrup? That is the most Canadian company. So sorry. Screen Rant. So many of their... Is this a problem? Maybe this is how they get away with it. So they're all owned by the same people, right? Screen Rant, Game Rant. I wonder if they're able to have multiple of their outlets on the committee because they're separated by region. I know, Mobile Syrup is really funny. Interesting. It's really cool that it is global, though. That is very interesting. I'm trying to see if I want to know if I remember if I any of these are recognizable to me, but I don't think so. Okay. Philippines. There's a lot, dude. This is actually really cool. Okay, so there's quite a lot here. Oh, right, the esports. Okay, so the esports org, they're determined by a global media outlet. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense to me. All right. Sports ski. I love how there's like one person. Okay, accessibility. Oh, good, good, good. Okay, they do have, yeah, Steve Spohn. Thank God. Okay, cool. That's really cool. However, I want to know. Okay, so I can see all that, but I can't see their actual FAQs. Whatever. Yeah, they own all of them, so it's really weird to see them there. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I was just curious about that because it's very interesting. And I actually, you know, when I was at IGN, I do remember voting for certain things, but I thought that was for our specific game of the year stuff. But I guess I have contributed in some form. However, the thing is, I contributed in a very tiny form because it takes everyone's. So when they give you the nominations, you have to give all, like, everyone has to vote on it, and then like the top votes from the staff at IGN gets then sent to the Game Awards. So it's like I have a very small say in it. But yeah, interesting. Hmm. Okay. Well, uh, that's cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with what you see for game of the year? I do wish Outer Worlds was on it, but here's the thing. Actually, I'm curious. When did? Because no, it does count because we saw Outer Worlds in something. We saw Outer Worlds nominated for one fucking thing, right? And then Dispatch also had like maybe 2 nominations. Outer Worlds 2 not having more nominations is weird to me. Oh yeah, Dominican. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. When you work for the Gamer, they said they didn't mind me working at CBR. Yeah, Errol. The company's very weird like that. You can't interchange because the contracts might be very different. Even though it is for the same parent company, the way that you write could be very different. You know, like the contracts could be very different. It doesn't people voting amidst publications then vote. Yeah, individual voting power is very diminished. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Game of the Year list makes sense. I do think the Game of the Year category makes sense. I feel like for the first few categories we see the same games repeated, and it's really jarring because so many games came out this year, you know? How do I feel with the indie conversation with Expedition 33? What is the conversation? There's a lot of conversations about the game. I do think that they need to tweak their categories because some of them are outdated. Like best multiplayer, and they include co-op games. Absolutely not. I don't think that belongs there. And there was something else. Yeah, I don't know. Best ongoing. I think for the most part they have that category defined, but then it's weird. There's certain things that they flex for certain games, and it's really like do you guys remember the biggest thing was Elden Ring, the DLC being nominated for Game of the Year? I was like, no, absolutely not. That's DLC. Was there even a co-op category? No, they just put that into multiplayer. It feels like such a boomer, like fucking. It looks like such a boomer way to label it. Like, oh, co-op and multiplayer will includes more than one player. You know what I mean? I hate that Lost Soul Aside came out the way to dude. Yeah, I think I was watching Blessing play and I was like, oh my god. The fact that me, someone who's not even a developer, but has seen like behind the scenes developer stuff, I saw so many assets that are on the Unreal shop, like Unreal library, that they just used without changing it. I was like, oh, that's the kind of game it's going to be. Okay. It could have been good had they put a little bit more effort into it and also maybe change the narrative and the gameplay because it seems so empty. But unfortunately, it looked like it wasn't ready to come out. We're talking about Lost Soul Aside. Did they, Nagi? Okay, that's good. I mean, still not enough for me to want to go back and play because at its core, I feel like at its core, narrative wise, which is a big reason to play a game like that, I'm not interested. Like it's not interested. it's so run of the mill, and I'm like, oh, I've played a million games like this before. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that I want to go back for. People complaining that Clear Obscure isn't indie. It's absolutely indie. It shouldn't be in that spot due to its funding and outsourcing. Hold on, let me do a little bit of research real quick. I think people are just salty about stuff, which, like, you know what? It's, yeah, okay. Everyone has different definitions of stuff, and maybe they should be a little bit more clear on what exactly that means. Hold on, give me a sec. Let's look. I'm curious. Okay, we'll just look at this. Okay. So it's a role-playing game. Yeah. Okay. It started in 2019. Then by an Ubisoft employee. Then they left the company to form Sandfall. And they established a 30-person core team whose endeavor would come to be supported by various production partners. Okay, so, which, by the way, 30 developers on a game is really small still. I don't think people understand that 30 people is really small. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's see here. Do they have? Okay, development. Here we go. Okay. He sent out requests to help craft a demo to a group of other developers he knew, as well as requests on Reddit in April 2020 to look for voice actors for a demo. Okay. Okay. Then Broche and Francois Maurice, an old friend and fellow Ubisoft developer, Tom Gehrman, they decided to create Sandfall Interactive. Okay, so then they got a bunch of people. Sorry, this is my first time reading this, so I'm just looking at this. Let's see. Okay. They got funding and a partnership with the publisher Kepler Interactive. And in 2023, and that's when they finally expanded into a 30-person team. And this allowed them to actually they could actually hire freelancers and QA. So the thing is, the funding didn't inherently affect their game development. It just helped with like things outside of that would have taken much longer. They only hired 8 South Korean freelance animators and quality assurance members. And then they also got porting assistance from a half dozen developers. So, okay, they also hired a couple of performance artists, brought in musicians, and translators. So, yes, while that does help them, they're still indie. This is all stuff they had to still secure on their own, right? They literally came from the ground up. So they are still an indie studio. Yes, you should be very specific in saying, yeah, we've got 30 plus people. Yeah. But they're still an indie. They're still an independent developer. I do understand that some developers get more funding, and that's just the way of the fucking industry, man. Same with movies, right? It's the same exact thing, but you're still an independent creator. So it's always kind of disappointing to me to see people say, "Oh, well, it had this many people, so technically," but it's like, okay, oh god, here's a hold on. There's an article here, Infinite Start. I don't even know what the fuck this is. Oh god, okay, I can kind of tell. Okay, they're saying Clair Obscur is more of a AAA. Oh my god, it's not, because the thing is, here's the thing. If indie developers fail with a game, they're most likely going to shutter. AAA studios will be fine. That is the fucking biggest difference. A lot of indie devs outsource. Yeah, it's normal. A lot of AAA companies outsource for cheaper. Or they use AI. Because they all want to save fucking money. However, indie developers excel because they use every bit of funding they have to make their vision come to life. So, yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing. In order to get that funding and outsourcing, they had to work for that shit, right? They had to show partners or whoever to like, hey, this is our dream, right? We just read that the main guy, he decided to recruit people off fucking Reddit to make a playable demo so that he could pitch his game so then he could get funding to even start it. All indie developers get fucking funding from somewhere. Otherwise, how else are they going to make a team? How are they going to pay other people? How are they going to make anything work, right? It's really funny when people don't consider all the shit that goes into it. Oh my god, Jeffrey. Dude, I know. Oh my god, man. Perhaps people get confused or refute this because of high quality it looks. Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. People look at indie games and they expect to see some like 8-bit 2D shit, right? That is immediately what a lot of people think when they hear indie games. Again, we as an audience are a small part of the gaming audience where we're really hardcore about shit. We see all the games that release all year long, right? We know all the obscure shit that comes out. Casual audience do not. So when they think indie game, they go, oh, it's 8-bit stuff. It's really small. It's like 2D stuff. So then when an indie developer actually comes out with something 3D, they're just like, no, that's not an indie game. That looks more true. It's so fucking frustrating. It is so frustrating. It is a stereotype that the indie games have been trying to break out of, that Clear Obscure is helping break out of. But again, people want to be fucking toxic about this shit. Which Somar, yeah. When they won, Somar, I believe, fuck, what was it? They showed up at something, and I think they had specified that, hold on. What was it? Fuck. I don't. Okay. I think it was when Expedition 33 was shown in the indie at the Game Awards, right? I think it was when it was shown or something. I remember Jeff Keighley being like, oh, and it's only made by 30 people or something like that. And the developer came out and was like, hey, yeah, so we actually have a lot more people than that. And all of them should be accounted for because they all were a part, like a real important part of this. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with like having, look, it doesn't matter how many people you have, right? Isn't it the more budget that determines what's indie? No. Indie literally means independent. Like, okay, let's get the actual funding, huh? Let's get the actual wording. Okay. Indie game. An indie video game, or indie game, short for independent video game, is a video game created by individuals or smaller development teams without the financial and technical support of a large game publisher. Now let's look at AAA, right? AAA is a buzzword used to classify video games produced or distributed by mid-sized or major publisher, which typically have higher development and marketing budgets than other tiers of games. This is Dave the Diver fiasco all over again, dude. Oh my god, what a good fucking game. But yeah, okay. So, because of their independence and freedom to develop, indie games often focus on innovation, experimental gameplay, and taking risks not usually afforded in AAA games. Indie games tend to be sold through digital distribution channels rather than at retail due to a lack of publisher support. The term is analogous to independent music or independent film in those respective mediums. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Claire Obscure was absolutely an indie game. I don't. It's not that hard to see that. Dave the Diver wasn't indie. Let's see. Dave the Diver, developed by Mini Rocket and wait. It published by Mint Rocket. They are okay. Is Mint Rocket a subsidiary of Nexon? see. I'm looking at this real quick. It doesn't. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Mint Rocket is a subsidiary of Nexon, so they're not indie. Yeah, they're not indie. Okay, no. Yeah. See, and that's what makes it, because here's the thing. If Mint Rocket, Mini Rocket, if they failed with Dave the Diver, guess what? They're still going to be okay. I feel like that's a way that you should look at it, right? All of the funding has to go to paying your workers, your 30 plus people. It has to go towards the development. Otherwise, it's never going to come out and you're never going to be able to publish a game. And that's, yeah. So for me, if you want to look at it in a certain way, like if they fail, are they going to be okay? No. Cyberpunk itself is self-published, but CDPR in itself is a big publisher at this point, so their games are considered AAA. You saw another bullshit Shroud clip. Oh God, man, I'm so sad to see how he fucking fell off, dude. How disappointing. How fucking disappointing. Yeah, I would say CDPR, they are their own, what's it called? Yeah, they are their own developer and publisher. So they are a publishing company as well. Let's see. Yeah, because they have subsidiaries, right? So it is very interesting to look at that. But I mean, that's same with like like EA games, things that are made by EA specific, right? Like, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, yes, technically they are independent, but they have a ton of money. They've also been in the field for a really, really long time. So I think there is a certain point where you do just kind of shoot past being indie. But I mean, you can still publish independently. I mean, we also think about it in like musician terms, right? You can still be successful if you're an indie artist, you know? So, oh, great. Oh, is it about him saying, is this the clip about him saying, "Oh, we got to flood the fucking thing with..." Hold on.